With me on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum here in Davos is one of the doyens of Indian industry. Mr. Pawan Munjal is top boss at Hero MotoCorp. It's always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thanks very much for your time.
Being with you.
So what's the feedback about India specifically, because the rest of the world has gone into a tailspin?
Let me start with the general mood
Yes.
here, which I would say is not very much different from the previous couple of years that I've been coming. But clearly the last couple of weeks, what's been going on around the globe has had a definite impact on the sentiment here. And we're seeing that in the stock markets around the globe too. I believe today back home in India, suddenly the markets have picked up. Generally, I would say for India, great time to be here. India is clearly the only bright spot across the globe, and I would definitely say that we need to seize this opportunity.
In times of crisis, capital goes back home, as we've seen. We've seen outflows, not just from India, but from other countries as well. And people don't make that kind of differentiation as we've been making and others have been making as well, that amongst large economies, India is the fastest growing. Eventually, they will make that differentiation. But in the interim, do you think we're in for a period of flux?
I would say that taking the capital back home, not the best time,
Right.
taking it back home too. And yes, it is being pulled out from many countries, including India, but then where do they take it? So I would think, again, India has the best chance now.
To attract.
And absolutely to attract capital. And we should make the best use of this time.
What's the feedback from business leaders, global business leaders that I'm sure you've met here, about what the government is doing directionally and the pace of it?
While India is the bright spot, but I'm picking up from people from various countries that India needs to do more,
Okay.
especially in ease of business area, the infrastructure area, inviting capital into the country, inviting FDI into the country. People want really to be able to do stuff very quickly, very fast, and they don't want to go through delays and red tapes, etc. The government is clearly focusing a lot on that. We've improved our ranking, but lots more needs to be done. We are still way down there in the ranking.
But is it about doing new things or is it doing things faster? Because most of the issues which were cited as hindrances in terms of ease of doing business, the government has sort of taken steps and looked at each of those things. But are you saying, well, more needs to be done, or is it just a feedback loop of positive experiences that people have once they come there?
And it's more all of that stuff to actually be implemented and for people to feel that things are moving in the right direction.
Okay.
And have that positive mood and positive sentiment.
One thing which comes up again in conversations is the private industry is still not investing. And that's not just true in India, but around the world as well. But here in India, we have a bit of a problem right now. The budget is around the corner. Do you think the government will play? Mr. Jaitley in the NDTV session did sound very open to the idea of increasing public expenditure in infrastructure quite a bit more. Do you think that is the need of the hour?
I'm personally pretty confident that the finance minister in this budget would definitely do a lot of stuff to change the sentiment, change the mood in the country, while generally, clearly, people and industry are really looking to a bright future, but the current here and now, we haven't seen things move. Let's say for my industry,
Yes.
we are having a tough time, especially in the rural markets, which is pulling us down. Now, monsoon is one thing. I'm sure there are a lot of other things that can be done. Even on that front, I'm personally hoping that after two bad monsoons, the coming year should be a good year.
Actually, that leads me into the next question, which is rural. For two-wheelers, 30-40% of sales is rural, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, in our case, it's even higher.
It's higher.
Yeah.
Do you think the budget will be rural focused? Many are saying, well, it will be. The government will have to do that because it can't take chances with...
I think it has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be, yes.
Anything specific there? Or it just is about allocating more to existing programs?
Exactly. Allocating more to ensure that there's money in the hands of the buyers and consumption really kicks off again.
Mr. Munjal, it's a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.